Nanoli Stud Farm is located between Mumbai and Pune on the banks of the Indrayani River. Nanoli was started in 1994 by Mr. Dhunjibhoy to realize a lifelong dream. Having been involved in racing and breeding from childhood, his ideas and views have found fruit in Nanoli Stud Farm. Today, Nanoli boasts a rich stallion basket which includes the likes of Royal Kingdom, Greensmith, Black Cash, who is the leading juvenile sire, as well as two new sires, Ikhtiar and Imtiaz.
First of all, it's extremely difficult to buy good stallions. It's in fact very difficult to buy a good racehorse, but stallions are even more elusive. We've been trying all along to buy a good horse, and from time to time horses do break down, and he was one of the cases where he had a training accident and he suddenly came on the market, and for the month of November, December, as always, the horse comes on the market for a few days and either you grab him or you're gone. So I had asked a friend of mine who I trust and who's an extremely good judge of horses to have a look at him. He said he's a good horse.
There are many important factors to consider when choosing from the global stock of stallions.
Female family is important because I think you should have some stallions in those female families to make sure that they succeed. If they don't have, then it's always risky, I feel. I had seen him race myself in the King George, where he ran, in the Prince of Wales Stakes, where he ran a great race, and I was very impressed by his physical conformation, his front legs. He's really well conformed horse, and he's showing that in all his progeny, which he's throwing very good horses. So that's what really said. He was a good all-round horse, stayed well, definitely should get mile-and-a-half horses, which is all what we want to do. Not breed sprinters, but breed good classic type horses. So he's got the material to do it, I think. I think you need a well-proportioned horse. I think you don't need one with a sort of terribly long neck or really, no substance in terms of physical body and things like that. I think he's sort of ideal. He's about a 16 hands horse. He's correct through his knees. He's got nice gaskins. He's got lovely quarters, a lot of power in them. Overall, he looked to be a very well-conformed horse.
Ikhtiar seems to fit the bill perfectly, and in what is an exciting time for Nanoli and Dhunjibhoy, Ikhtiar's progeny will be in races all over India towards the end of 2008.
They've got beautiful attitude. No bad habits that he throws. They're not sort of horses that are precocious and jumping around and doing everything wrong, but they just do the right thing. They have a good attitude. They're all very robust. We've been working some of them now for the last 2 months, and none of them have shown up with any, skeletal problems, joints, things like that, which initially happen to horses which you put into training. So they've gone through that initial part correctly. All of them walk through the starting gates without a problem. And physically they've done so well. And they every time I see them, they keep improving. And I would bet my big dollar that he's going to be a better horse than Black Cash.
Imtiaz is a grey stallion from the Woodman family of sires with the Shadayad line on his dam side. This first crop of foals have just been born.
They've all come out with a good size, a good weight, good bone. So far the average of the horse that is born looks like it's fine. It's not like they're weak boned or they didn't have the weight at birth and things like that. So they've all got the ingredients right. It's a superb female family, probably better than Ikhtiar's, I would think. It's already produced a stallion like Cape Cross, who's gone on to produce a world champion like Dhunjibhoy. He's produced a superb, Cape Cross has produced another lovely filly in New Zealand called Sea Change, which went and won 7 Group 1 races. So they've already produced horses not only just good in their national country, but international champions. There is a lot of power in that family, I think, And there are various stallions in that family. You've got Dick Tat in that family. I think Angie's Digital is another good horse. And that Park Appeal, Baladaris, the female family is just I think it's one of the top families for sires.
With land space at a premium in India, the breeding industry has its own challenges.
The only problem in India is that we just don't have the land mass to keep so many mares. I mean, I wouldn't have mind at all to have a farm with 500 mares on it. But then I need 5,000 acres and I don't have it. And in that case, I just cannot have a broodmare population of more than 100 mares. Unfortunately, we are not getting the quality mares. I mean, the problem is, there's no sense in breeding stallions and hoping that you make a class 5 horse into a class 1 horse. I mean, it's very difficult to do that. Sometimes you're lucky you may get there, but I think you have to breed more for quality than just quantity, and that's what's happening in India. I think there's going to be a bit of a bloodbath now. If you're going to produce more than 1,200 horses in this country, the excess capacity is going to be doomed, because none of the race courses have the ability to take more horses. And this year we're going to run into a problem because Bombay is not regulating it. In fact, I would strongly recommend, like we did in the past, that we regulate the number of babies that can come in. It's a fact of life. We don't have the space. It's excess capacity, and you're going to get 1,500 horses coming out very shortly. So the 200-300 will again encroach upon, and the market will get depressed.
Khushru Dhunjibhoy is a man with a broad vision, a vision that extends beyond what he requires personally for Nanoli. In this regard, he has established higher standards for the Nanoli stud, a benchmark for the industry to mirror. La 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 yo, la 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 yo.